Hey, good morning. It's Dan Miller, your self-anointed motivator. A beautiful fall Friday morning here today to talk to you about strategy. In 3 minutes or less, we're going to have a great discussion about strategy. Here's what strategy allows us to do. It allows us to decide today, right now, what we should be working on, and equally importantly, what we shouldn't be working on. Strategy is the filter by which you can decide whether your activities are leading you to the right result. That's what strategy is. But here's the problem. Strategy is only relevant if it's related directly to a goal. And sometimes, and I can tell you, I do this all the time, sometimes we forget what the goal actually is. So let's get clear about what a goal is. A goal, we all know this, but let's just remind ourselves, a goal is something that has a firm quantity and a firm duration. So for example, I might say, I want to recruit 10 top producing loan officers over the next 90 days. So 10 top producing loan officers, that's quantity, 90 days, that's the duration. Simple, right? The strategy is, what am I going to generally think is the best way, fastest, easiest, most likely? By the way, that you might think about that. In terms of strategy, you should think of speed, probability, and ease. Those things, I always use those as decision-making tools. Is it fast? Is it easy? Right? Because I'm lazy. Is it fast? Is it easy? And how probable is it that it'll work? Those are the three things I use. And by the way, don't get yourself stuck, Nothing's perfect, right? So you just want to kind of generally say, do I think that's a pretty fast way to do it? Is there a pretty high probability that it'll work? Okay? And, how easy is it to implement? Those are three things that you always just want to use kind of in the back of your mind as you're thinking about strategy. Probably true about goals as well. Anyway, back to strategy. So you've got a goal, which again has a firm quantity and a firm duration. In this case, we're talking about 10 recruits over the next 90 days. And then my strategy could be something like, I'm going to go to the top 10% of our client base, and I'm going to ask them who I should recruit. And I'm going to involve them in the process. So strategy, being very specific about it, is the strategy is we're going to take the top 10% of our current customers, and we're going to get them engaged in the process of recruiting these 10 recruits. So far with me? So top 10% of my customers are going to help me recruit my 10 recruits over the next 90 days. That's the strategy. So here's the coolest thing about it. Check this out. So now I've got the strategy firmly in place, and all I need to do is I need to go after the top 10% of my current clients who I already know me, already know my company, get them engaged in my goal, and they're going to help me figure out what I need to do every day to achieve it. So every day I'm going to come in and say, what did my top 10% say I needed to be doing right now? Well, and if I don't know, then what do I have to do? I got to ask them, right? So if I have nothing on my to-do list around the goal of recruiting these top 10 folks over the next 90 days, then all I have to do is call one of my top 10% clients and say, hey, I need your help. I'm trying to recruit 10 people over the next 90 days. I want people that would impress you. Who in the marketplace do you know, and how can you help me? So the strategy that I think is just critical to think about, the part of strategy that's critical is that it's the filter by which you decide what to do and what not to do. There are so many things we do every day, so many things I do every day that aren't productive and aren't worth doing. I think the key to success is getting clear on what you want, figuring out a general way that you think is high probability, very simple, right, to execute like we talked about, high probability, very simple, and fast to get you there, and then letting the tactics be dictated by those two things. So focus on your strategy. Decide what your goal is. That's the how much and by when. Decide what your strategy is, the general way you think is the easiest, fastest, and highest probability way to get there, and start doing something about it today. Thanks for listening. Have a great Friday.